Miss Lara. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right. If you look at the world system, people are going through a lot. So, we want to talk about the significance of mental health. Looking at this scenario, so given that the world system requires a lot from us, you have to keep moving, and if you're not moving, it is assumed that you're not doing anything. You have this notion in you that you have to keep moving, you have to keep striving so hard. Mind you, I am not in support of laziness, but you have to keep moving. But there's a level in your life that sometimes when you need to rest. But because the world system, you have this belief that you just have to keep doing things. Sometimes when you rest, you hear not voices in your head that there's still something that I need to do. I need to get this done. I need to allow yourself to be pressured, overwhelmed with the pressure of life. There are times that people intentionally want to use their status, their riches, their wealth, their position to. They may not really tell you directly. They want to use it, rub it on your face, and you, because of the pressure, you don't want to slow down and keep doing. How do you identify that you are mentally distressed?
All right, thank you very much for that question. How do you know that you are mentally distressed? For me, I think before we can talk about you identifying if you are mentally distressed, I think we need to define what mental distress is, and thereby defining what mental health is. Because the truth of the matter is, a lot of people, most times, they don't even know what they are feeling, what is called. They can't even express it. They can't define it. They don't know what it is. And most times, when people hear the word mental, they always relate it to insanity or one spiritual problem or the other, because of the way religion or our culture has painted it. So I would like to first of all define what mental health is. I think for me, mental health is ability to have control over your behavior, ability to manage your emotions, ability to keep moving regardless of what is happening around you, ability to think clearly, ability to manage distress. So that is what mental health is. So we can say that somebody is in a good, or rather somebody have a good mental health when you are able to do all of these things. Okay, I know that I'm tired. I know that I'm stressed, but you sit down with it. You didn't allow it to overwhelm you. You can still keep your life going. You get your life going regardless of what is happening to you. So I think when the reverse is the case, when you can't think clearly, you start making hasty decision, you can't get hold of your emotions, so and all of this. So I think by then we can say that this person is mentally distressed, although we have a whole lot of things that contribute to that. We can point to that points us to you being mentally distressed. Probably eating less or eating too much, sleeping less or sleeping too much. There are times that you even sometimes you spend money larger than the amount you can afford. You do something weird and all of that. You find it very difficult to focus on a given task and all of that. So when we see these symptoms, we can say that this person is mentally distressed. You're welcome.
This is great. I saw you nodding along while she was speaking. So, do you want to chip in some words to what she said?
Okay, she has really done justice to mental distress and mental health. But what I would like to add is mental distress is more like the presence of when a person is not stable, when a person lost control. It's more like when you're driving, but at some point you lost control. over everything. You're unable to manage your stress, you're unable to cope with life, you're unable to fit in perfectly to the society. At this point, this is when worrying comes in, when a person worry excessively over everything. And at this time, people who are distressed, you see outburst of anger. They just want to throw. Do you understand? They just want to, yes, they are highly irritable. At this time, everything pisses them off. Do you understand? This is the time when we can say, oh, this person is mentally distressed, yes. Or maybe the person, like she has said, is struggling to maybe sleep, have adequate sleep, or maybe there is a change, yes. The person might be sleeping too much or not getting enough sleep, eating too much or not getting enough sleep. When there is a disruption in the person's normal
Normal
life,
way of
yes,
doing
or
things.
productivity, we say a person is emotionally distressed.
Thank you very much for those wonderful responses. I really appreciate it. So now I want to ask these questions. There are some rules, there are some things that we normally do, we accept. There are some rules, there are some traditions, culture that we do that make you, it drains you out, but you don't know how to express yourself. You don't know how to make people understand the situation. You just have to do it. There are some rules that it drains you so much that it makes you to avoid the truth that you are being manipulated. So how do you thrive? How do you thrive in such situation?
All right, thank you very much for that question. Talking about rules, traditions, cultures, and all of that, the truth of the matter is these things, they have their own positive effects. Culture and all of that, one of their positive effects is that they give us stability. You understand? They make us stable. And some find they derive joy in their culture because it brings them back to their roots. But it will still not deny the fact that some of these rules, traditions, and culture, they can be, how do I put it, they can be so demanding sometimes that they'll just drain you. They drain life out of you. You just have to do this, you have to meet that target, you have to, this is the way you are supposed to do it, this is the way you're supposed to dress, this is the way you're supposed to talk, and all of that. All these toxic rules, just to please themselves, not minding the way you feel, not minding how you feel. They make you feel less of yourself sometimes and magnifying their own feelings. And sometimes you are so lost to the extent that we don't even think there could be another way of living your life apart from those rules that these cultures and traditions are set out. So to me, I believe for us to thrive, or for anyone to thrive in such situation, first of all, you have to disconnect yourself from such tradition or rule.
Okay, I would like to ask them to say, for an instance, a parent to a child. For an instance, in the case of a parent to a child, it is believed that the Bible says that.
Now, I know where you're going. Let me use myself as an example. Myself and my mom, I didn't live with my mom, I stayed with my grandma. So, for one reason or the probably because of my own personality, because the truth is, there is no tradition that can push me to what I don't want to do. People call it stubbornness and all of that. I don't know what it's called, but that is who I am. My mom is someone that, and she does that not only to me, but also to my siblings. My mom can just pick up her phone and say, "Hello, yeah, so this is this person does not have money to eat. I want you to send that person 10,000 naira," and I'll be like, I don't get why. It's not as if I don't know that giving. It's not even. It's not as if I don't know that giving is good, but you don't have to mandate it. My mom can just say, "Okay, this clothes, you are not putting on this clothes," not because the clothes is not good, but because my mom has this standard. Like she has set this standard that if you don't dress like this, then you are not who you are. You understand? So myself and my mom, we are always at loggerheads because I will always say no. That there was a time, sometimes my siblings will just tell me, "You're the one that is disturbing you. Just tell her, okay." I'll say there's no point telling her, okay, when I know I'm not going to do this. So I always stand up to her and say, Mom, I'm not doing this. Recently, she just walked up to me and she was like, and by August, we are going to one religious program. I said, Mom, I'm not going. So even before that time, just know that respectfully, I am not going. Probably because of my age, I'm of age now, so I can make some decision for myself. I can say, but I remember while we were younger, you just have to do what she says you should do. And in one way or the other, it really affected my self-esteem. I had low self-esteem until I had to, bring myself out of that corner and build up myself. So we have some parents like that, they just because the culture, religion tells you to obey them and they have nothing to do about it. So it's like that. So if for an adult, somebody like me, I can make my own decision and say that no, I am not doing this respectfully. Although we still have times where we argue it out and all of that, but to get to that time where I will have to say that no, this is about what I want to do and not what you want me to do. So I have to own up to my own true self. I have to own up to my own opinion. I have to own up to my own self-awareness and say that okay, this is what I want to do. I think by that way we can try.
And at the same time, not to disrespecting
That
your
is
mom,
what
your
I
parents.
said, and that was why I
Okay.
said respectfully.
Okay, I want to ask this question, Mrs. Grace. How about in a case whereby you work in a firm, you know that that's how you feed, that's what puts food on your table, and your boss is like wanting to exploit you, giving you a lot of workload to do. How do you let this person understand that there are some certain things at some level there are some things that I have to do, and some things I can't do, especially at the same time maintain your position and your health, your mental health in that case?
Yeah, I think you've already answered the question. Yes, you asked the question and you've already answered the question. Because there's something we call assertiveness. Assertiveness is you speaking up for yourself, standing up for your right, and knowing when to say no and standing by it. So, assertiveness is just somewhere in between being passive and being aggressive. Now you're not passive, you're not a go-to girl, like okay, always saying yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes ma at the expense of yourself. Do you understand? Because someone who is passive, you're abusing yourself, you're disrespecting yourself.
Yeah.
But someone who is aggressive is disrespecting other people. It's more like a continuum. We have a passive, we have assertive, and we have aggressive.
Yeah.
A person who is on the other, at the other hand, is being aggressive. That is where you see someone who disrupts things like that, who, shun down rules and everything, who do it like, how do I say it now? Opposing rules, like challenging authority and all that. But there is a place in between where we call assertiveness.
Yeah.
This is where when you respect yourself and also respect other
The other
people.
person, yeah.
This is when you stand up for yourself and you say no politely. Do you understand?
But don't you think that sometimes if you tell your employer no, you may use it as an opportunity to want to just take that means of feeding from you?
No, no. That is when you are being aggressive. There is a way, being assertive is not putting the attention to yourself. Do you understand? When you want to be assertive, you don't use the word I. No, you don't use the word you, rather. You don't use the word you, like you did this, you did. It's more like
Pointing
yourself.
fingers.
Like, it's more like you're expressing yourself.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I realize that this, and this is what I think, this is what I think. Do you understand? So, when you don't speak in a way that challenges other people, they don't feel offended. Do you understand? For example, if the resumption time is 9 a.m. and you're coming late, and your boss is asking you why are you late, and you're like, you should know that nobody in this Lagos will resume by 9 a.m. No, you are being confrontational, you are being aggressive. But there's a better way to doing things, like, okay, I know that my resumption time is 9 a.m. But this. They will know that, okay, it's about you. You're expressing yourself. Do you understand? With this, you have a better place to stay. You have a better chance. Do you understand? Of even speaking more. Do you understand? And like that, by doing that, your boss will be able to think deep,
Understand.
maybe about amending some rules.
And sometimes these people they act that way based on how they grew up, their training. So it could be something that made them to want everyone to be the way they are. So that's alone.
Well, that is a function of the society we find ourselves. Because in Nigeria, just as she has said, we have a lot of cultural values, traditions, so many things that we imbibed while growing up, and most times we have the tendency of transferring it. But I think there is a place we need to put a stop. Someone needs to challenge the status quo and say, someone needs to just stand to it and say, no,
No.
this thing cannot continue. Like I used to tell people, we have this culture of silence, where everybody wants to be silent and say, no, nobody wants to speak up because nobody wants to be the scape lion. Do you get like, oh, if I speak up now, they will say,
What will happen to me? What
I'm
happened to
like,
my job?
yes, so I don't want to lose my job. They might say my own is too much. So by doing that, we keep quiet and we allow the trend to
Yeah.
continue. Yes, there are some people being a boss, they've experienced a lot of things while they were serving their own master, and they just want to replicate the same. They want to do the same, not minding or considering their
The
apprentice
effect.
mental health, the effect
The
on them.
effect.
And the question is, you while you were serving your boss and doing all of those things, were you comfortable doing
Doing
it?
that.
Do you enjoy doing it? If you don't enjoy doing it, why do you
Want
want
to
the
impose
trend to
it on
continue?
another person.
There
Yeah.
should be a place where you will just have to draw the line and say, no, I care about people's mental health. It's more like empathy, putting yourself in the shoes of others. It hurts.
Yeah.
So why do you want to hurt people intentionally? So it starts from we. Do you understand? That's the reason why it starts from the place of knowing. You cannot give what you don't know. You can only give what you know. And that's the reason why we go about sensitizing people, helping people, making people aware, not just about their mental health, but also the importance of other people's mental
Mental
health.
health. Yeah.
If your apprentice or your staff is not well placed mentally, the person cannot deliver their best. Do you understand? The
Yeah.
person's productivity will be very, very low, and it will affect you. It will affect you as well.
Okay, thank you very much. You guys have really done justice to that. But you guys have not talked about the aspect whereby someone does not know what to do. Like you are in a position, I will give an instance. When people in a position that you cannot control the situation based on the fact that you want to continue, you have nowhere to turn to, you have nobody to go to. Let's say for instance, a child that is living with his foster parents or his guardian, and you know that if you want to stand up to your rights, like we said, you want to stand up to your rights, you are going to be pushed out. So how can this person handle this situation? How can you let your guardian know that there are some things that I'm not going to accept, I'm not going to condone in the house? For instance, you overwork this person, you make the person feel as if he's nothing. So how can this person try in such situation?
Come out of that situation.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say that you see this. I don't know the kind of culture that we find ourselves as a way of limiting us in so many areas, depriving us of so many things. Now, in the case of this example that you cited now, there's a child that is living with is our parents or a foster parent or a guardian, and the person is being maltreated. Now, the first thing I want to say is I thank God for this opportunity, for this thing that we are doing, this awareness, this conversation, and all of that. And I believe more and more is to come. People will get to know better about what mental health is. So I believe if we have a community that understand what mental health is, that understand the importance of mental health, such child can walk up to people in that community or someone in that community. Oh, this is what I'm going through. Even if the people that is maltreating that child does not understand what mental health is, or better still understand and they choose to ignore, probably for reason best known to them. So we can have people who will stand up and support that particular child. I can't say such avenue is completely out of this culture or is completely, like we don't really about the little people, the little avenue that we have, people can actually, rise up, stand up and fight for such child and make those people understand that this is not the way to treat a child, thereby improving the mental health of not only that child, but the people that are maltreating that person, that particular child.
Okay, let me add to what she has said. Although the society might be faulty, but there are a lot of structures recently that have been put in place to
Okay.
handle such. Like now in Lagos State, you can't just abuse a child anyhow. You cannot. It's an abuse when you live with someone and you are being subjected to torture, deprivation, and all of those things. But it starts from the place of knowing your rights. Um, I used to say mental health is everybody's fundamental human right. It's your right to live in a peaceful, loving environment. But in case you're not getting all of those things, there are a lot of places you can go to. Do you understand? There are a lot of NGOs that are into this. Even Lagos State, there's a Child Rights Act. I don't know. I don't want to quote what I don't know. There's a Child Rights Act that is against, that frown against abusing a child. Especially minor. Anybody who is being caught will be prosecuted. So is a, how do I put it now? Is against the law. Is against the law to abuse a child. So, and that's the reason why we keep sensitizing people. When you see a child or when you see anybody being exposed to such a life, talk, speak out. Do you understand? That's the reason why we keep telling people, when you see a thing, say. I don't know, there's a way they coin that thing. See something, say something, and do something immediately. Yes. When you see something that is not right, say it to the appropriate channel where such a child can get help, and do something immediately. Help the child to come out from such an environment, because most times, most of these people abusing children, they are not okay mentally. They are not okay mentally. When you check them, they are distressed. It's more like a transfer of aggression.
Yeah.
Do you understand? On the innocent child. So you need to rescue that child. So at this point, we just need to be a brother's keeper. When you see something, don't just move your eyes away and say, "Oh, I don't care. This person is not my family member. I just need to keep quiet." No, you need to talk and refer to the appropriate channel. That's it.
All right. We are all women seated here. How about for a woman? No, it is believed that the husband is the head of the house and you have to be submissive to your husband. So, how about the case of your husband is kind of being abusive based on the fact that he grew up from the family that they believe that a man should not do anything in the house. The woman is supposed to be the one to be all out there, cater for the house. And they even go to the extent of using Bible to back up their claims that a woman builds the home. So how can a woman thrive in such situation? How can you, even the family members, everybody, if you run to them, they still tell you the same thing: be submissive to your husband. So how do you thrive having to take care of your husband, having to take care of your child? And how do you come into the place of taking care of your own self, thinking about your own self, and not at the same time not disrespecting your family member, not disrespecting your husband, meeting up to the needs of your child. How do you try as a
Is I would like her to answer that.
Okay, so I think it comes from, like, the first thing is asking yourself about yourself, which I call self identity. Who are you? What are your values? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? Do you get, like, who are you? What do you want for life, or what do you want out of life? Do you get? Because there is a saying that when the use of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. When you don't understand the use of yourself, other people will use you and they will abuse you. But when you understand your value, it goes further to knowing who complements you. Do you understand? That is choosing life partner. Okay, knowing who complements that vision, who complements your value, who complements your dream. Although some women already, they've gotten it wrong already. Do you understand? Like, okay, so and that is where it becomes difficult for such women to thrive. Do you understand? Like, okay, they're already in that difficult situation, but they are trying to grow and everything. What I tell people like that is take it a step at a time. You can't rush it because you're already in that messy situation. So what you need to do is to practice mindfulness at that time, a step at a time. Understand your partner, discuss with your partner. Do you understand? Then you choose. Is it, do you want to choose your life or you want to choose the marriage? Do you understand? But most times people tend to consider the children that are already in the marriage and say, no, I just want to do everything all together. So in that case, there is a place of compromise. So you just need to keep compromising. Do you understand? Like, okay, this is the man you marry. Walk up to the man, have an agreement with him. Do you understand? Table whatsoever you want. If it's a man that wants your progress, there will be a place that there will also be a time that he too is going to bend and adjust. Do you understand? And give you room to also grow as well. For example, in the case of a working class woman who still needs to provide for everything, and at the same time, a man is still seen as the head. Do you understand? To make rules and everything. We cannot deny the fact that the man is the head, but a woman should know how to balance it. You are a woman, you know, you have a husband in the house, but you are going to take up a job that will keep you outside your home till night. You don't need it. Do you understand? You don't need it. There are other jobs. There are other jobs that you can do that will still give you that time. Do you understand? To manage your family, although they might not be giving you enough resources that you need, but you need to work hand in hand with your partner. That is it. If the man knows that you are the one bringing the larger part of the resources that you need in the home, so you should be able to compromise and let you grow. But in the case the woman is not getting all of those things, the mental health comes first. So you know whether to quit the job, focus on the children, give yourself time. At least the man will have a reason for depriving you. It could be because of the children. I've seen several women that have to quit their jobs and focus on their family member, or focus on their children. For the meantime, some give themselves like, okay, I want to give myself 6 to 10 years to raise my children. And when the children are grown to some,
So they can go back to whatever they
to
feel
go
like
back
doing.
to work. So it's a matter of understanding.
All right, I think you have answered some of the questions I would have loved to have told, because the issue of mental health is really broad. You cannot really talk about everything, but at least it will relate to some of the matters that are on this world. So, what is your advice in conclusion? What is your advice to the world at large? How do you think that we can close this gap of some issues? How do you think we can close this gap?
Well, for me, first of all, just like I said from the first question, that people really need to know what mental health is. So, and the factors that contribute to mental health. So, when you understand this, you will be able to take your stand and prioritize your mental health. So, the first thing is one should be able to prioritize self-care. So there's a saying that says that, or people say, when you prioritizing yourself is selfishness. No, I stand against that statement. You understand? So when you say that me first, so they think you are being selfish.
I just want to chip in some things because we talked about parents to child, elders. What I would just say that people should try as much as possible to be understanding. Be polite with their words. Be polite with their words. I think if you have all these people that when you think about if you have to do something to yourself, when somebody does something to you, it will hurt you. So when you think about another person, you would not want to do such thing to another person. So we should try as much as possible to be kind with our words, to be kind in our actions, to be understanding. Put yourself in this person's shoes. Try as much as possible to break some norms, some traditions. We are in a growing world, you understand? So, Mrs. Grace, what would you like to add?
Okay, just as you have said, and she has said as well, let's make this place a beautiful place to live.
Yeah.
Let's make the world a better place by supporting ourselves. You know, there is this recent slogan, women supporting women. You know, we shouldn't be the one bringing ourselves down. If someone complains to me, oh, I'm stressed, I'm this, I'm that, the next thing should be showing compassion, you know, empathizing with the person, helping the person feel better, not actually feel worse. So I think we can do a lot more, we can achieve a lot more if we work together, if we support ourselves and stop the stigmatization against mental illnesses, against mental health, because mental health or mental illnesses is just like a backpack that everybody carries. The only difference is that one weighs more than the other. Everybody has their backpack.
Yes, so.
Some are light, while some are heavy. So we should join hands together and help ourselves carry our baggages. Do you understand? If you see anybody that is going through whatsoever that you cannot manage or handle, let's just refer the person for help. Nobody is worth dying in silence. That's just it. Even if it's you and you realize that, oh, you are not coping well with whatsoever that is happening in your life, just speak up.
Speak up.
Seek for help.
Exactly.
Help is here.
It doesn't make you weak.
Yes, it doesn't make you
weak.
yes,
And
it
it is
doesn't
not
make you weak.
only those who are mad that needs help. Because most
Exactly.
times that's what people think. They think it is when you are when they hear the word
You are
mental,
out of touch with reality.
like would they think I'm mad? Would they think I'm insane? Would they think something is wrong with me? And would they think sometimes you feel like they'll think I'm weak or something. And some people is because of this religious obligation. They just want to keep quiet and be like, what will my religious people
And statistics have shown that 1 out of 4 persons has mental health issues,
yes.
or we experience mental health issues during their lifetime. So it's everywhere.
Exactly. So ability to cope.
One thing I also want to chip in again is that because you went through some experiences in the past does not mean that you should now pass it on like that to the next person. Or you want to use the anger because I went through some experience, you want someone else to go through the same thing. And I would take, for instance, someone that is in a harsh upbringing from a parent. So because of that, you want everyone to be as uptight as you. You want everyone to be like streets.
Like you have.
Yeah, you understand. So
like this is the way it should
try
be.
and bend a little and understand people that everyone cannot be at
like
your own level. So that's you guys have really done justice. So thank you very much. So I think we'll just come to the end of this show for now. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate it, and I pray that the world will listen to this and they will act on it. There should be community help. People should support each other, love each other better. And you as a person, find your peace. Do not allow yourself to be tossed here and then. Identify when you're mentally distressed and help yourself. Speak up. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
It's an exciting time.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, you're welcome. It's great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I learned a lot.
Thank you.